There is a law of physics that applies to the human soul just as much as it applies to the mountains. As you ascend, the air gets thinner. As you climb higher, the crowd gets smaller. And at the very peak, there is no room for a group. There is only room for one. If you have started to do the work, if you have killed the ghost of potential, if you have started building your citadel, you have likely noticed a disturbing side effect: silence. The phone rings less. The invitations dry up. The people you used to spend hours with suddenly feel distant. You sit at a dinner table with old friends, and you feel like you are speaking a different language. They are talking about the same drama, the same celebrities, the same complaints they had 3 years ago. And you are sitting there, behind a glass wall, thinking, is this it? Is this all there is? This moment is dangerous. This is the moment where most women panic. They feel the cold wind of isolation, and they rush back down the mountain. They lower their standards just to feel the warmth of a body next to them. They apologize for their growth. They shrink themselves to fit back into the box. Do not do it. Do not go back down. What you are feeling is not loneliness. That is a cheap word used by people who cannot stand their own reflection. What you are feeling is altitude. You have entered the rarefied air of the minority. You have entered the aristocracy of solitude. Tonight we are going to talk about why your isolation is not a punishment. It is a promotion. We are going to deconstruct the modern addiction to belonging and replace it with the ancient luxury of being. Let's be honest about what socializing looks like for the average person today. It is not connection. It is collective anesthesia. Look at a group of friends at a brunch or at a bar. Are they connecting? Are they discussing ideas? Are they building something? No. They are trauma bonding. They are validating each other's victimhood. They are drinking to numb the anxiety of their unlived lives. They are gathering in herds because the sheep is terrified of the wolf, and the wolf is the truth. The French sociologist Gustave Le Bon wrote about the psychology of crowds. He discovered a brutal mechanic. When an individual joins a crowd, their intelligence drops. Their morality drops. They descend to the level of the lowest common denominator. In a group, you do not rise. You average out. And if the average is mediocre, you become mediocre. Society tells you that if you are alone, something is wrong with you. They call you antisocial. They call you aloof. They diagnose you because they cannot control you. A woman who needs validation is easy to manipulate. You just give her a compliment or a like and she obeys. But a woman who is comfortable in her own silence, a woman who does not need the herd, she is dangerous. She is sovereign. She cannot be bought because she supplies her own currency. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, a man who understood the darkness of human nature better than anyone, told a famous parable about porcupines. It goes like this. On a cold winter day, a group of porcupines crowded together to save themselves from freezing. But as soon as they got close, they felt each other's quills. The pain forced them apart. But then the cold forced them back together. They were caught in a cycle of freezing or bleeding. Freezing or bleeding. This is the state of modern relationships. People are terrified of the cold, so they rush into the arms of people who hurt them. They choose toxic friendships, abusive partners, and vapid social circles because they are too weak to stand the cold. But Schopenhauer noted that there was a third type of porcupine, the one with enough internal heat, the one who generated her own warmth. This porcupine does not need to huddle. She can keep a safe distance. She does not prick others, and she does not get pricked. She observes. She stays warm. She stays unscarred. This is the goal of Stoic elegance, to build such a roaring fire within your own intellect, within your own spirit, that you do not need to press your body against strangers just to feel alive. Solitude is the distance of safety. It is the boundary where you end and the chaos of the world begins. Now let's talk about the pain of losing people, because it does hurt. You will lose friends. I guarantee it. The moment you start dressing better, speaking clearer, and refusing to engage in gossip, you will see a shift in their eyes. It won't be admiration. It will be irritation. Why? Because your improvement is an insult to their stagnation. When you lose weight, you remind them of their gluttony. When you build a business, you remind them of their laziness. When you stay single rather than settle for a loser, you remind them of their desperate compromises. You act as a mirror. And nobody likes a mirror that shows them their wrinkles, so they will try to pull you back. This is the crab bucket theory. If one crab tries to crawl out of the bucket, the others will grab its legs and pull it back down, not to save it, but to ensure it dies with them. They will say things like, "You've changed. You think you're better than us? You're too serious now. Come on, just one drink, don't be boring." Hear me clearly. You've changed is not an insult. It is the highest compliment. It means the strategy is working. Do not apologize. Do not explain. You are not abandoning them. You are simply moving to a climate where they cannot survive. You are evolving from a creature of the swamp to a creature of the air. You cannot expect the fish to follow you to the mountaintop. They would suffocate. Let them stay in the water. You have flying to do. What do you actually do with this solitude? Many women are afraid of it because they think solitude means emptiness. They imagine sitting in a dark room staring at a wall. That is not solitude. That is depression. True, aristocratic solitude is not empty. It is full. It is full of you. Think of the difference between a marketplace and a cathedral. A marketplace is loud, crowded, smelly, chaotic. It is full of cheap transactions, shouting, and dirt. That is the mind of the socially addicted person. A cathedral is empty. It is silent. It is spacious. But is it lonely? No. It is filled with art. It is filled with grandeur. It is filled with the presence of something higher. You must turn your mind into a cathedral. When you are alone, you are in the company of the greatest minds in history. You can sit in silence and have a conversation with Jung, with Wolfe, with Chanel, with your own future self. You can listen to music and actually hear every note instead of using it as background noise. You can think a thought all the way to the end without being interrupted by a notification. This is the rich interior life. This is what makes a woman magnetic. When you meet a woman who is comfortable in solitude, she has a mystery about her. She has depth. She doesn't spill everything in the first 5 minutes because she doesn't need your approval. She has a secret garden inside her mind that she tends to every day, and she only gives the key to the gate to those who have proven they are worthy of the walk. I will not lie to you. The price of this life is high. The aristocracy of solitude is expensive. The currency is grief. You have to grieve the loss of your popularity. You have to grieve the invitations you don't get. You have to grieve the easy fun of being one of the girls. You will have Friday nights where you are sitting alone with a book, and the silence will feel heavy. You will see photos of parties and feel a pang of FOMO, fear of missing out. But then you must ask yourself, what are you actually missing? Are you missing the hangover? Are you missing the gossip? Are you missing the fake laughter at jokes that aren't funny? Are you missing the feeling of waking up on Sunday morning feeling drained and spiritually empty? No, you are missing the illusion of connection. But once you taste the reality of sovereignty, the illusion tastes like ash. The Persian poet Omar Khayyam said it best nearly 1,000 years ago. You are better to be alone than with just anybody. It is better to starve alone than to eat poison just to fill your belly. Most people are eating poison. They are consuming toxic relationships just to avoid the silence. A sovereign woman prefers to fast. She waits for the feast, and if the feast doesn't come, she prepares her own table. Look around you now. If your circle is small, do not panic. If your phone is quiet, do not fill the silence with noise. Respect the void. The void is where creation happens. The universe was created in the void. You are being recreated in the void. You are filtering your life. You are removing the noise so you can hear the signal. You are becoming a curator of your own existence. A museum curator does not fill every inch of the wall with cheap posters. She hangs one masterpiece on a blank wall and lets it breathe. Be the curator. Do not be afraid to walk alone. The sheep huddle for safety. The insects swarm in thousands. But the sovereign, she moves in silence. Walk your path. Keep your head high. Do not look back at the valley. There is nothing there for you anymore except ghosts and noise. The air is thin up here, yes, but it is clean. Breathe it in. Welcome home.